Hello and welcome. I'm Lindsay Crane and these are my retro craft dreams. I love to explore vintage crafts and methods of crafting and vintage craft items, especially from the 70s and 80s, but occasionally from periods before that. And in the process of exploring these vintage crafts, I have come across craft gadgets that are not really in use so much today. And since I also love to try out new crafts on this channel and explore and learn them with you, I thought I would give one a whirl today. So today we are going to try out the Daisy Knitter. Now this little gadget has a few different names, including a daisy loom, a loom knitter, and probably some others that I'm not coming up with right now. I'll put them on the screen if I can find them. And you can find patterns written specifically for this. It was in use, I think, largely in the 40s. I don't know the exact year range. Mine, I believe, is from the 40s. So we're going to give it a whirl. We're going to see if I can learn how to do it and whether I like it and if I'm going to want to incorporate it into my future craft projects. So I think we need to come up with a rating system by the end of this video. I'm gonna think on that. I'm not going to be making a project with this. I am just going to be learning how to make these daisies. If you want to see an actual project made with this, Retro Claude has been working on a daisy blouse using a daisy knitter for some time now. I think she's nearing the end, but you can check out her channel, see where she's at with that project, and I just highly recommend her channel either way. So anyway, full disclosure, I did try to make this video a year ago. The footage it was not good to watch at all. So this isn't actually my first time trying this, but I haven't touched it since then. This is going to require yarn. I went digging through my scraps and I found these little pieces. One of them is cotton and just some acrylic. This is just practice. We're just learning and we're just gonna see if I like using it, basically. So with that, let's jump right in. So we've got my Bucilla Daisy Knitter. Now this is not dated from what I recall. No, here are my instructions. Let's see if I can do this. Hold the knitter in the left hand with flat side toward you, holding knob between thumb and forefinger of right hand with thumb at bottom. Push thumb to left to turn the knob and release the spokes. And mine's a little rusty, but we've got freedom of movement. Let's just read this instruction a little bit so I have an overview of what I'm doing. Single petal daisy wrapped over one spoke. With left thumb, hold yarn across center of knitter, leaving end extend about 1 inch beyond center. With right hand, pass yarn from left to right around spoke at top, number 1, across center of knitter, from right to left around spoke directly opposite, number 2, across center of knitter, from left to right around spoke number 3, at right of first spoke wrapped, across center from right to left around spoke number 4, at left of second spoke wrapped, across center from left to right around spoke number 5, across center from right to left around spoke number 6, and continuously wrapping spoke once, always passing across center to wrap spoke opposite until the 12th spoke is wrapped. Bring yarn across center and cut about 1 inch beyond center. Well, it's a good thing there is an illustration here because that was a lot of left, left, center, left. Yeah, let's start with, let's use my white. This is leftover Kobu yarn. I need to start here. So we're going around the top and then across to the one opposite around the bottom. And then we go around clockwise, left to right, across, right to left, clockwise, left to right, across, right to left, clockwise, and down, and continue around, and so on, and so on. And now that should be the 12th spoke. Bring yarn across center and cut about 1 inch beyond center. So for the center, we need to thread needle with yarn. The side of daisy toward you is the wrong side. Okay, that part I can understand. Insert needle under 4 petals, draw yarn through tightly, bring yarn back over the last 3 of these 4 petals, insert needle under these 3 petals, and 1 more, making 4 petals in all. So it's 4 steps forwards, 3 steps back, 4 steps forward, 3 petals back. Be sure there are 13 stitches. Otherwise, your center will not be complete. Fasten yarn on wrong side, cut off all ends close to center. It doesn't say how much of this I need. I hope that's enough. It just says fasten as with embroidery. So we're just gonna loop it around, I guess. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not going to attach it at all. I'm just gonna leave a tail and tie it off at the end. Okay, so we need to go under 4 petals. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Draw yarn through tightly, bring yarn back over 3, 1, 2, 3, and then through 4. So like I said, 4 petals forward, 3 petals back. Whoops. Uh-oh. Splitty yarn got caught around a spoke. There's too many tails. Back 3, forward 4, pull tight. I have lost count of how many stitches I've done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My spokes are coming out. 13. And then I'm gonna go under here, whoops, and come out where my first bit was. So that was more yarn than I needed. And then I'm just gonna tie these together for now. I don't like that there's knots, and I don't really know what else I should do. Turn knob in opposite direction to draw in spokes and release the daisy. Okay, there we have, oh, I thought I counted 13, but it looks like I missed a stitch. Yeah, I think I missed a stitch. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It was off center, and it still kind of looks off center. All right, let's try another one. How about a double petal daisy wrapped over 1 spoke? It looks like it's exactly the same, except I'm gonna wrap twice before moving on to the next set of spokes. So we're starting down here. So we're going across there. And then instead of going to the next spoke, we're just gonna do that one again. And now go to the next spoke. And do that twice. And then the next one. And again, that's gonna be a much fuller daisy. Oh wait. Uh-oh, no, I missed one. Where did I miss one? Ha, there. There we go. Just double checking now. Each spoke has 2 wraps. This time I'm gonna count to make sure I'm not missing any stitches. We go back 3 and under 4. Okay, so that's 1 and 13. All right, moment of truth. Did I do it right this time? That gets tight. Here we go. It looks a little better. It is. It's lopsided again. Why is it lopsided? It definitely looks better, more full, but I got it off center. How did I get it off center like that? There's one more method of making a daisy here, so we're gonna try one more, and then I'm just gonna give my opinion. So we're out of white. Let's do a gray flower with an orange center. How about that? So now we're gonna try illustration D. Single petal daisy wrapped over 2 spokes. With right hand, pass yarn from left to right around spokes numbers 1 and 2. Okay, my spokes want to keep going in. So we're going around 2 spokes this time. And then from right to left around numbers 3 and 4. 12 is across, is the one that's straight across from 1. So we're going over that way to there. Okay, now I can let go of my tail. Across center around 5 and 6. Across center around 7 and 8. And then here. And then cross center around 11 and 1. So wherever there's a gap, now I'm basically connecting that gap because I started turning this and I kind of lost my numbers. But I think, yeah, you can see I'm basically making sure every space between is covered. Okay, and then are we done? I think I did them all. Okay, now I have a mess on the back. So we're doing the center the exact same way. And again, I need to count to 13 stitches. Oh, but how do I not get off center? That's what I need to know. Should I not tighten as much? Back 3, oh crap, I lost count. What was that, 5? My spokes keep wanting to retract. Am I crooked? Did I do it right? Hey! That one actually worked. All right, we're not crooked. We can see my stitches for making the center. So that makes it a little easier to tell what's going on. Yeah, I think I like that one. Actually, I mean, I love the look of this. I do love like how soft and delicate the white one looks, but it got way off center. There we have it. There are my 3 daisies for my Bucilla daisy knitter to join daisies with picot joining. That looks like so much work to me right now. I don't want to do that. So what is my final opinion on this? It's actually pretty easy to do. The wrapping takes just a second and it's, you know, kind of a fun fidget. The stitching, not so much a fan of. I should do this on that camera actually. I don't know, there are some sensory aspects that are kind of fun. You know, it's fun to turn it. It's fun to pop the daisies off when you're done if it's not super stuck. There are other aspects that I just find a little too tedious for me to enjoy it as an entire project. My first one, I missed a stitch and we got like a Pac-Man-y flower thing going here. So that means you do have to count your stitches every time. And anytime that I have to count that regularly kind of puts me off. I don't like counting. I like the mindless bits of the craft. I suppose with practice you might be able to learn how to recognize how many stitches you've got, and I'm sure with practice it'll be much more obvious if you don't have enough stitches there. But more than that, I also feel like if you're gonna make an entire item out of daisies, like I don't wanna. That just it's probably one of those things where I get overwhelmed by looking at it, and if I were to do it, it probably would be fine, but I just don't think I have any desire to connect all of those daisies. So I see this as the kind of thing I might like to use to create an embellishment, like a little cluster of daisies or daisy here and there that could just be a little feature rather than the thing that is used to construct an entire item. It could be interesting to use one as the center of a granny square, which then you're not joining all of these different things. You're just picking up a stitch for each petal. So that might be an interesting way to use this. And then of course, with the square being outside that, you need far fewer daisies in order to construct an entire fabric. So that might be something I could explore in the future. To use a daisy as the center of a granny square. But in general, I don't see myself ever wanting to do an entire project of daisies. So with those rambling thoughts concluded, I'm going to give the Daisy Knitter a 3 out of 5 yarn balls. We're gonna go with yarn balls for my craft gadget rating system, I think. I'm glad I have one. I'm glad I bought one. I'm glad I tried it. I don't think I want to make a whole lot of these though. So if I ever use this again, I'm going to be trying to find a project that only needs a few. It is a fun little piece of crafting history, but I don't believe it's a craft that I want to do. Those are my thoughts on the Daisy Knitter. Let me know what you think about the Daisy Knitter. Have you tried one? Would you like to? Do you enjoy counting your stitches, or do you have the same issues as I do? I do think that a lot of these things are still worth experimenting with and trying for ourselves, although it's not always easy to find one of these at an affordable price. So hopefully this can help you decide whether or not it is worth it if you have been considering seeking one out. I do hope you enjoyed coming along with me for this one, and if you want to see me try out some of my other vintage crafty gadgets, make sure to let me know and we'll see if we can make a thing out of this. That's going to be all for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye. It looks a little something like I'm going to be decoding something. I'm going to be sure to drink my Ovaltine.